Hello there, and welcome back to Sleepy Wiki. As you find your most comfortable space tonight, allow your body to gently soften, letting your shoulders release any lingering tension, and just notice your breath as it finds its own slow, peaceful rhythm. No need to change anything, just observe. Tonight we'll drift together into the profound, inky depths of our planet's oceans. A realm so vast, so ancient, so utterly beyond our everyday experience that it holds secrets far beyond our current understanding. Imagine the profound silence, the immense, comforting pressure, the unseen life that thrives in perpetual twilight, and the enduring enigmas that lie shrouded in those timeless waters. We'll explore just a few of these captivating yet deeply calming mysteries. A gentle journey into the unknown that perhaps might just lull your own thoughts into a peaceful slumber. We don't seek answers tonight, only to gently ponder upon some of the most beautiful and enduring questions from below the waves, simply being with them as they unfold. And if you find solace and comfort in these whispered journeys, a soft like or a quiet subscribe would be a truly gentle way to show your appreciation, helping more peaceful souls find their way to our quiet corner of the internet whenever they seek a moment of calm. So, let us now descend very gently into the first of our deep ocean mysteries. In the crushing depths where light surrenders to an eternal night and pressures could flatten a modern submarine, lies a realm of profound mystery. It is a realm of profound mystery, a place where life, against all odds, not only endures but thrives. Tonight, let us unfurl the scrolls of time, reaching back to Earth's earliest days to ponder the very first stirrings of life, particularly the life that chose the extreme path, the path of the extremophile. Imagine our young Earth, billions of years ago. It was not the gentle blue marble we know today. Instead, picture a tempestuous volcanic world, cloaked in a thick, choking atmosphere utterly devoid of free oxygen. An atmosphere that would be toxic to most life forms we recognize. Volcanic eruptions spewed molten rock and superheated gases. Meteorites frequently bombarded its surface, and the oceans, once they formed, were a steaming, mineral-rich cauldron. How, in such a fierce crucible, could anything so delicate as life ever begin? For many years, scientists imagined life starting in a warm, shallow pond bathed in sunlight, a primordial soup. But as we've delved deeper, both literally into our oceans and figuratively into our understanding of early Earth, another far more dramatic and compelling picture has emerged. Perhaps life didn't need the sun at all. Perhaps its genesis lay hidden beneath the waves in the very heart of our planet's restless geology. Turn your mind's eye now to the deep ocean floor, far below the reach of any sunlight. Even today, this ancient realm cradles unique ecosystems, powered not by the sun's distant rays, but by Earth's own inner fire. Here, where tectonic plates pull apart or collide, the ocean floor is fractured, allowing seawater to seep deep into the Earth's crust. This water becomes superheated by magma, absorbing minerals and chemicals from the surrounding rock: iron, sulfur, hydrogen sulfide, methane, and many others, before bursting forth again through towering chimney-like structures. These are the fabled hydrothermal vents, often called black smokers or white smokers, depending on the minerals they release. Imagine these vents as colossal submarine geysers, spewing out plumes of superheated, chemically rich fluid. The black smoke isn't smoke at all, but a blizzard of tiny mineral particles, mainly iron sulfides, precipitating as the hot vent fluid meets the frigid, oxygenated deep sea water. These environments are incredibly hostile, searing hot, up to 400 degrees Celsius, kept liquid by immense pressure, intensely acidic or alkaline, and brimming with heavy metals that are lethal to most surface life. Yet, around these vents, life flourishes. Vast communities of tube worms, giant clams, strange shrimp, and mats of bacteria thrive. But what powers them? Not photosynthesis, for there is no light. Instead, they harness a process called chemosynthesis. Like microscopic alchemists, specialized bacteria and archaea convert the chemical energy locked within compounds like hydrogen sulfide and methane into usable organic matter. They are the primary producers here, forming the base of an entirely independent food web. It's a remarkable testament to life's ingenuity, a vibrant world built from the very substances that would poison almost everything else. Now, let's step back in time again to the very beginning. Could these very vents or similar geological features have been the birthing grounds of life itself? Many scientists believe so. The early Earth's oceans would have been far more chemically active, and the planet's internal heat would have been even more intense, leading to even more vigorous venting activity. These vents would have provided not just heat and a steady supply of reactive chemicals, but also intricate mineral surfaces, like tiny natural laboratories, that could have concentrated organic molecules and catalyzed the complex reactions necessary for life to emerge. Think of the inside of these porous vent structures as a maze of microscopic chambers and channels acting like primitive cells. Within these spaces, chemical gradients, differences in concentration of various chemicals, could have provided the energy needed to drive the earliest biochemical reactions. Hydrogen ions, for instance, naturally flow from an acidic to an alkaline environment, and this simple flow could have been harnessed by primitive cellular machinery, much like a tiny water wheel generating energy. These sustained, gentle flows are particularly characteristic of alkaline vents, often called white smokers due to their cooler, whiter plumes, where the chemical reactions involved in serpentinization, the alteration of mantle rock by water, produce hydrogen gas and methane, creating an alkaline environment with a natural pH gradient against the acidic early ocean. Crucially, these deep-sea environments would have been shielded from the harsh ultraviolet radiation that permeated early Earth's surface before the development of an ozone layer. They offered a stable, protected niche where complex organic molecules could form and persist without being instantly destroyed. Here, amino acids could link to form proteins, nucleotides could assemble into RNA, perhaps even giving rise to an RNA world, where RNA molecules performed both genetic and catalytic functions before DNA and proteins took over. And what about the last universal common ancestor, or LUCA, the hypothetical organism from which all life on Earth is thought to have descended? Genetic evidence, derived from studying the molecular machinery of all living things, suggests that LUCA was very likely a thermophilic or even hyperthermophilic organism, meaning it thrived in extremely hot conditions. This strongly points towards a hot, vent-like origin for life rather than a cool pond. So, When we look at the strange, resilient creatures clinging to the sides of modern hydrothermal vents, these extremophiles, we are not just seeing unusual adaptations. We are, in a sense, peering into a window to our own deep past, glimpsing the conditions and the forms of life that might have been our earliest ancestors. They are living echoes of life's first, tentative steps, pioneers who showed that existence doesn't require sunlight or comfortable temperatures, but rather a fierce determination and the right chemical recipe. Lan. These tiny, unseen pioneers of the deep have much more to tell us, not just about our past, but about the incredible potential for life to exist in places we once thought impossible. As we continue into the realm of our ocean's mysteries, let's consider how these resilient life forms have shaped not only our understanding of life's origins, but also how they continue to interact with their environment in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. Beyond the shimmering surface, in the true heart of our blue planet, perpetual twilight gradually gives way to an absolute, inky blackness. Imagine, if you will, sinking below the familiar world of sunlit waves and playful dolphins, past the vibrant coral gardens, into an immense liquid void where human understanding feels as small as a pebble dropped into an endless well. This is the domain of the deep ocean, a place of such breathtaking scale and unfathomable conditions that it holds secrets far grander and more numerous than we can possibly conceive. In our world, the one we inhabit and know so well, is overwhelmingly blue. Over 70% of its surface is covered by water, yet the average depth of this vast expanse is a staggering 3,700 meters, nearly 2.5 miles straight down. And that's just the average. There are trenches like the legendary Mariana Trench, a colossal scar in the Earth's crust that plunges almost 11 kilometers beneath the waves. To put that into perspective, if you were to invert Mount Everest and place it at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, its peak would still be more than a mile below the surface of the water. It's an almost unimaginable vertical landscape, an entire mountain range turned upside down, shrouded in eternal night. Now here's a thought that truly invites wonder. Despite our technological prowess, our tireless curiosity, and our insatiable desire to map and understand every corner of our world, we have, to date, explored less than 5 to 10% of the deep ocean. Think of it like this. Imagine entering a vast, ancient library filled with millions of books, each holding a unique story, a lifetime of knowledge. We, as explorers, have perhaps only glimpsed the titles on the very first few shelves or read merely the opening sentences of a handful of texts. The overwhelming majority of the library, its intricate plots, its untold sagas, its most profound wisdom, remains completely unread, its pages still firmly bound in mystery. This unexplored vastness is not merely empty space. It's an alien world right here on Earth, teeming with life, adapted to conditions that would crush and extinguish surface dwellers in an instant. Down here, there is no sunlight. What little light exists is often the eerie, cold glow of bioluminescence, living light produced by the creatures themselves, like ghostly lanterns swaying in an endless night. It's a world where eyes become enormous, straining to catch the faintest flicker or disappear altogether, replaced by other sensory marvels. And then there is the pressure. Oh, the immense, incredible pressure. For every 10 meters you descend, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. At the bottom of the Challenger Deep, the deepest known point in the Mariana Trench, the pressure exceeds 1,000 atmospheres. Imagine the weight of 1,000 elephants balanced delicately on your thumbnail, or the pressure of holding up a fully loaded train with your bare hands. It's a crushing, invisible force that shapes life in the deep into forms and structures we can scarcely comprehend, creatures built to withstand a weight that would turn anything from our world into powder. Life in this frigid, dark, and high-pressure environment also demands unique adaptations for survival and growth. Metabolism slows down, growth rates become incredibly sluggish, and lifespans stretch to ancient durations. Food, too, is scarce and precious, often drifting down from the sunlit layers above as marine snow, a gentle, ceaseless fall of detritus, or found in localized oases around hydrothermal vents, where life thrives on chemical energy rather than light. Yet, ironically, it is in these very conditions of cold, slow metabolism and reduced competition that a fascinating phenomenon often occurs: deep-sea gigantism. Deep-sea gigantism is precisely what it sounds like. Creatures growing to enormous sizes compared to their shallower water relatives. We've seen tantalizing glimpses of this phenomenon already. The giant squid, a creature of myth and legend for centuries, now a confirmed resident of the abyssal plains, can reach lengths of up to 20 meters, or about 66 feet, making it one of the largest invertebrates on Earth. Then there's its even more massive cousin, the colossal squid, with the largest eyes of any known animal, the size of dinner plates, designed to capture every last photon in the eternal gloom. We've encountered the Japanese spider crab, whose spindly legs can stretch to a span of almost 3.7 meters, over 12 feet, and the giant isopod, a cousin to the familiar garden pillbug, but the size of a football. These aren't just big, they're titans, living proof that the deep ocean fosters growth on an astonishing scale. But if these magnificent giants, some of which were only formally discovered and observed in their natural habitat relatively recently, truly exist, then what else, what more, could be lurking in the vast unread chapters of the deep? The logical next step of wonder is to consider that with so much ocean unexplored, and with the clear evidence of gigantism, there simply must be even larger, stranger, and currently unknown creatures dwelling in the abyssal plains, the Hadal trenches, and the immense underwater mountain ranges that crisscross our globe. Some scientists hypothesize that we might find relict populations, creatures thought to be long extinct, like the coelacanth, a living fossil fish rediscovered in 1938, which can reach over 2 meters in length. Imagine a creature from the age of dinosaurs, still swimming, still thriving, in the dark, untouched depths. The challenge of finding them is immense. Exploring these depths requires highly specialized submersibles, remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, capable of withstanding crushing pressures, and sophisticated acoustic mapping technology. It's a costly, time-consuming, and painstaking endeavor, like searching for a single grain of sand on an entire planet in the dark. But the whispers of these undiscovered giants are persistent. Sometimes these whispers come as unexplained sonar anomalies, massive, unidentifiable echoes bouncing back from deep below, far too large to be any known creature. Other times they are fleeting shadows caught on deep-sea cameras, too indistinct to identify, yet too immense to dismiss. There have been reports of strange, unidentifiable sounds emanating from the deep, powerful enough to travel for hundreds of miles. Sounds that do not match the known vocalizations of any animal we currently understand. More chillingly, there are the physical clues, enormous, raking bite marks on the bodies of deep-diving whales, too large and too powerful to be made by any known predator, or the strange, unidentifiable organisms occasionally found in the stomach contents of colossal squid or large deep-sea sharks. Fragments of creatures that defy classification, suggesting the existence of even larger, apex predators operating in realms we cannot yet reach. These are like fragments of a colossal jigsaw puzzle, hinting at a picture far grander than we can currently imagine. It's these tantalizing clues, coupled with the sheer magnitude of the unexplored deep, that fuel the scientific imagination. They remind us that the ancient myths of sea monsters, the kraken, the leviathan, the great sea serpents, while not scientific fact, are perhaps echoes of humanity's deep, primal awareness of the immense, powerful, and unknown life that has always lurked beneath the waves. They are reflections of a truth we are only just beginning to truly grasp: that our planet is home to wonders beyond our current comprehension, especially in its deepest, most shrouded places. The thought is both humbling and exhilarating. To think that even today, in our seemingly explored world, there could be creatures of unimaginable size and form, living out their entire lifespans, generation after generation, completely unbeknownst to humankind. They swim in silent majesty through vast, dark canyons, glide over abyssal plains, and weave through the pillars of hydrothermal vents, living their ancient, mysterious lives. Their existence is a testament to the Earth's boundless capacity for creation, and a reminder that wonder is still abundant, waiting patiently in the quiet depths. As we gently consider these potential titans of the deep, our journey continues to another of the ocean's profound mysteries, a phenomenon that hints at life adapting in the most extraordinary ways. From the mysteries of undiscovered creatures, let us turn our attention to the ocean's very foundation, the profound secrets held within its most extreme depths. We are speaking now of the ocean trenches, not mere valleys, but geological masterpieces, etched into the Earth's skin with an artistry that takes eons to perfect. Imagine, if you will, the Earth not as a single, unmoving sphere, but as a magnificent ancient puzzle, its surface cracked into colossal pieces, the tectonic plates. These are not static, like forgotten ceramic shards, but rather they are in a slow, stately cosmic ballet, constantly shifting, gliding, and occasionally colliding with the grace of giants in a dream. And it is in these grand, geological embraces that our deepest ocean trenches are born. When two of these colossal oceanic plates meet, something extraordinary happens. One of them, often the denser, older, and therefore heavier plate, begins a long, slow, and inexorable descent. It doesn't crash head-on, rather, it bows, it dips, it yields, sliding beneath its companion in a majestic process we call subduction. Picture a vast, silent conveyor belt, carrying ancient seafloor crust, laden with the memories of countless millennia, down into the fiery heart of our planet. This is not a rapid plunge, but a geological sigh, unfolding at the pace of fingernail growth, yet possessing an immense, unstoppable power. As this oceanic plate slowly, so very slowly, bends and dives, it creates a profound furrow, a vast, elongated canyon in the ocean floor. This is the ocean trench. It is a scar, yes, but a beautiful one, a testament to the Earth's restless, living nature. The Mariana Trench, for instance, the deepest known point on our planet, plunges almost 11 kilometers, that's nearly 7 miles, into the abyssal gloom. If Mount Everest, the world's tallest peak, were placed at its bottom, its summit would still be more than a mile beneath the waves. It is a place of such immense depth that the surface world seems like a distant, forgotten memory, a faint shimmer lost in the vastness above. The creation of these trenches is not a gentle affair, even at its glacial pace. As one immense plate grinds beneath another, the friction is unimaginable, generating incredible stress within the Earth's crust. This constant grinding friction is the genesis of some of our planet's most powerful tremors, the deep focus earthquakes that originate hundreds of kilometers beneath the surface. Imagine two colossal rocky hands slowly, inexorably, rubbing against each other under immense pressure. The tremors that ripple outwards from these depths are the groans of the planet, the subtle shivers of its internal engine at work, reminding us of the immense forces that shape our world, even as we sleep. But the story of subduction doesn't end with a deep furrow and an occasional tremor. As the subducting plate descends further into the Earth's mantle, the increasing pressure and temperature begin to transform it. The rocks change, their very essence reconfigured. Water, trapped within the minerals of the oceanic crust, is released. This superheated water then rises into the overlying mantle wedge, lowering its melting point like adding a solvent to a solid. This process creates magma, molten rock, which then begins its own slow, arduous journey upwards. This rising magma is the very lifeblood of volcanic activity, forming chains of majestic volcanoes on the overriding plate, the fiery arcs of islands and mountains that often parallel these deep ocean trenches. The Ring of Fire, that necklace of volcanoes rimming the Pacific Ocean, is a direct testament to the restless dance of subducting plates and the trenches they create. And what of the materials scraped off the subducting plate? As it dives, a good portion of the accumulated sediments, the ancient sands, the fossilized remnants of countless creatures, the dust of ages, are not carried down with it. Instead, they are bulldozed, crumpled, and piled up against the edge of the overriding plate, forming what we call an accretionary prism. Imagine a giant geological bulldozer slowly scraping up a mound of soft earth and debris. These prisms are mountains built not from uplift, but from the slow, relentless scraping and accumulation of ocean floor sediments, a vast archive of Earth's surface history, compressed and folded over millions of years. These geological secrets are whispered across immense timescales, moments spanning not seconds but millions of years. Trenches are where the Earth recycles itself, where old oceanic crust, having served its purpose, returns to the mantle from whence it came to be remade and eventually re-emerge in a new form. It is the very engine of plate tectonics, driving the slow, majestic churn of our planet's surface, constantly renewing, constantly reshaping. The environment within these trenches is, as you might imagine, otherworldly. The pressure is crushing, thousands of times greater than at the surface, squeezing everything with an unimaginable force. The light is absent, replaced by eternal twilight, then absolute darkness. The temperatures are frigid, yet the underlying geological activity hints at immense heat just below. It is a realm of incredible stillness, yet one born of colossal, dynamic forces, a testament to the Earth's enduring power and the profound mysteries it still holds. As you contemplate these silent, colossal forces at work, shaping the very ground beneath your feet, let us continue exploring another of the ocean's enigmas, venturing beyond these geological depths to consider the strange, resilient life that manages to thrive in these crushing, dark worlds, a testament to life's extraordinary adaptability and the ocean's boundless wonders. In a realm where the last faint whispers of sunlight have long since faded, we enter a world of profound and absolute darkness. Imagine, if you will, a world without sun, moon, or stars. A vast liquid cosmos where the only light is born from life itself. It is here, in the inky blackness of the deep abyss, that we encounter one of nature's most enchanting and perplexing phenomena: bioluminescence. This isn't just a sporadic twinkle, like scattered diamonds across a velvet curtain. No, this is a symphony of light, a silent ballet choreographed by creatures who have mastered the art of living illumination. From the tiny, single-celled dinoflagellates that paint the water with ghostly blue flickers when disturbed, to the magnificent deep-sea fish adorned with elaborate patterns of glowing pores, light is not merely present, it is a fundamental language. How do these marvels of the deep conjure such radiance? It's not fire nor electricity, but a cool chemical glow, a biological process far removed from our understanding of terrestrial light. At its heart lies a remarkable interaction between two key components: a molecule called luciferin, the light-emitting compound, and an enzyme called luciferase, which acts as a catalyst, sparking the reaction. Sometimes, other proteins like aquarin are involved, releasing stored light energy in a flash. The result is pure, ethereal light, usually blue or green because these wavelengths travel furthest through water, piercing the perpetual gloom more effectively than any other color. It's an evolutionary masterpiece, a beacon in a world designed for shadows. But this light, dear listener, is far more than just a beautiful display. It is a dialogue, a private conversation, and sometimes a dramatic public announcement in a world where sound travels differently and visual cues are scarce. The true enigma lies not in how they produce this light, but what they are saying with it, and how they understand each other amidst such a chaotic chorus of flashes and glows. Consider the vital imperative of finding a mate in a realm of such vastness and scarcity. Imagine being a deep-sea copepod, barely the size of a grain of rice, adrift in an ocean column hundreds of meters deep. How do you locate another of your kind amidst the endless dark? For many species, bioluminescence becomes their personal advertisement, a flashing billboard announcing their presence and species. They emit precise patterns of light, sometimes rapid blinks, sometimes sustained glows, like a unique Morse code discernible only to their potential partners. Each species possesses its own distinct light signature, a secret handshake or a visual accent that distinguishes it from the thousands of other glowing entities. Without this intricate, species-specific signaling, the chances of reproduction would dwindle to almost nothing. It's a delicate dance of light, an intimate whisper in the dark, ensuring the continuation of their lineage on Mount. Then there's the urgent business of survival. Bioluminescence serves as a sophisticated defense mechanism, often surprising predators or even turning the tables on them. Some deep-sea fish, like the hatchet fish, employ a brilliant strategy called counter-illumination. They possess light organs along their bellies that produce a dim, downward-facing glow, precisely matching the faint residual light filtering from the surface, making their silhouette invisible to predators lurking below. It's the ultimate camouflage, a living cloak of invisibility against the faint starlight of the deep. Other creatures use light as a dazzling distraction, a form of biological smokescreen. Deep-sea squid and certain euphausides can release clouds of bioluminescent fluid when threatened, creating a brilliant, confusing explosion of light that disorients a predator, allowing the prey to escape into the renewed darkness. Imagine an attacker lunging, only to be met by a sudden blinding flash, giving their dinner the precious seconds it needs to vanish. And what about the burglar alarm strategy? Some jellyfish and brittle stars, when grabbed by a predator, don't just flee. They ignite. They burst into a cascade of brilliant flashes, attracting larger predators to the scene. The idea is simple yet cunning. I'm being attacked here. Someone bigger, please come and deal with this. It's a desperate plea for help that often works, turning a small skirmish into a multi-species chase, increasing the chances for the initial prey to slip away in the confusion. On the flip side, bioluminescence is also a powerful tool for hunting. The infamous anglerfish, a creature straight from a fantastical dream, dangles a bioluminescent lure from its head, a glowing fishing rod enticing curious, unsuspecting prey directly into its cavernous jaws. It's a predatory masterpiece, a fatal attraction in the dark. Even more remarkable are dragonfish, which possess specialized photophores under their eyes that emit red light. Most deep-sea creatures cannot perceive red light, making the dragonfish's illumination effectively invisible to its prey, while allowing the predator to illuminate its surroundings and spot a meal without being seen. It's like having night vision goggles that only you can use. Yet, for all our observations and scientific inquiry, the intricate grammar and syntax of bioluminescent communication remain largely an enigma. How do these creatures differentiate between a mating call and a distress signal when both involve light? What subtle variations in flash duration, intensity, frequency, or even the slight shifts in hue convey different messages? Is there a complex vocabulary, a series of light words and sentences that govern their interactions? Are some signals private, understood only by their own kind, while others are public, broadcast to any creature that can perceive them? Researchers, peering into the abyss with specialized cameras and submersibles, are only just beginning to decode fragments of this living language. It's like trying to understand a complex human conversation by observing only occasional flashes of a distant light bulb. The sheer scale of the deep ocean, combined with the fleeting nature of these bioluminescent displays, makes it incredibly challenging to observe, let alone interpret, these profound exchanges. We know the light is there, we understand the chemistry, and we can infer many of its functions. But the full richness, the nuances, the hidden dialogues that occur moment by moment in the deepest parts of our planet remain largely veiled in mystery. It is a testament to the incredible ingenuity of life, a quiet, luminous secret whispered across miles of silent water. And as we ponder these enigmatic communications of light, our journey continues, leading us towards another profound question that echoes from the deep concerning the very foundations of life itself. Where the shimmering dance of bioluminescent life fades away, we enter realms where light cannot pierce, but where an entirely different sense takes precedence: sound. Imagine, if you will, the profound quiet of the abyssal plains, a stillness so absolute it almost hums. Yet beneath this perceived tranquility, the deep ocean holds a secret, a hidden symphony of the unknown, a chorus of whispers and roars that have baffled scientists for decades. This isn't a silent world at all, but rather a vast, liquid concert hall playing an eternal, often enigmatic performance. To truly appreciate these deep-sea serenades, we must first understand the unique acoustics of water. Unlike our terrestrial world, where sound waves ripple through air at a leisurely pace, in the ocean, sound is a tireless traveler. It hurtles through the denser medium of water at speeds approaching 1,500 meters per second, nearly 5 times faster than in the air above. This remarkable property means that sounds generated in one corner of the ocean can traverse entire basins, journeying thousands upon thousands of kilometers before fading into the depths. It's as if the ocean itself is a massive ear capable of picking up vibrations from incredible distances, and to listen, we deploy our own sensitive ears, hydrophones. These underwater microphones, patiently deployed across the globe, act as our sentinels, diligently recording the sonic pulse of the planet. But the ocean isn't just a conduit. It's an architect of sound pathways. Deep beneath the surface, typically between 800 and 200 meters, lies a remarkable layer known as the SOFAR channel, the sound fixing and ranging channel. Here, a delicate balance of temperature and pressure creates a zone where the speed of sound is at its absolute minimum. Imagine a subterranean highway, perfectly engineered to channel sound waves, preventing them from scattering upwards or downwards. Within this acoustic highway, sounds can travel with astonishing efficiency, bouncing along its boundaries for immense distances, sometimes circumnavigating the entire globe. It's a natural amplifier and long-distance communicator, a silent superhighway for the ocean's most profound utterances. And it is through these patient hydrophones listening along the SOFAR channel that we have detected some of the most profound and perplexing sounds ever recorded. These aren't the familiar clicks of dolphins or the mournful songs of humpback whales, beautiful though they are. No, these are sounds that defy easy classification, sounds that have whispered questions into the very heart of oceanography. They are the enigmatic, deep ocean sounds. Perhaps the most famous or infamous among them is the bloop. Detected in 1997 by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, during a routine survey of deep ocean volcanism, the bloop was an ultra-low frequency sound, a thunderous roar that lasted for about a minute and was powerful, enough to be picked up by hydrophones over 5,000 kilometers away across the Pacific Ocean. Its amplitude was immense, far exceeding that of any known biological creature, even the largest whales. For years, its origin remained a captivating mystery, sparking imaginations with theories ranging from gargantuan, unknown marine animals to exotic geological phenomena. Was it a leviathan lurking in the unexplored depths, a creature so vast it dwarfed even our grandest whales? The thought was both terrifying and thrilling. Yet eventually, scientific scrutiny, combined with further analysis and improved monitoring, led to a more grounded, though no less spectacular, hypothesis. The bloop was most likely the sound of a massive ice quake. Imagine colossal icebergs, titans of frozen water, cracking and fracturing with immense force in the distant Antarctic, their internal stresses releasing acoustic energy on a monumental scale. It's a reminder that even the most solved mysteries often point to the sheer, crushing power of natural forces, a geological sigh that echoes across continents. But the bloop was just one voice in a chorus of the unknown. Other mysterious sounds have surfaced, each with its own peculiar characteristics, each a cryptic message from the deep. There's the upsweep, a continuous, narrow-band sound that slowly rises in frequency, a sustained, almost ethereal hum, typically lasting several seconds. It was first detected in 1991 and continues to be heard seasonally in the Pacific, its source still eluding a definitive explanation. Some theories point to underwater volcanic activity or seismic events, perhaps related to the slow, relentless movement of Earth's tectonic plates, a grinding groan from the planet itself. Then there's Julia, another dramatic burst of sound lasting for about 15 seconds, detected in 1999. Much like the bloop, its characteristics were consistent with a large ice quake. Picture a monstrous ice shelf, perhaps the size of a small country, calving a piece into the frigid sea, the sheer mass of falling ice displacing water and generating an acoustic shockwave that travels for thousands of miles. It's a testament to the raw, untamed power of our polar regions, a sound so profound it becomes a global event. And the list continues. Slow down, a sound that decreased slowly in frequency over several minutes, detected in 1997. Its origin still a puzzle. Was it a unique geological event? Or perhaps some exotic interaction of currents and underwater topography? There's also the train, a low-frequency sound with a peculiar train-like quality, again, from an unknown source. Imagine the distant rumble of a freight train, echoing not across a prairie, but through leagues of water. And the less frequently heard whistle, a high-frequency, short-duration sound, a sharp, piercing note that appears and disappears without obvious cause. Each of these unique acoustic signatures tells us of phenomena we don't yet fully understand, a symphony where many instruments remain unidentified. What do these enigmatic sounds truly represent? While some, like the bloop and Julia, have been tentatively linked to the titanic forces of ice and seismic activity, many others stubbornly resist classification. They challenge our assumptions about what lives and moves in the deep, and what geological processes are truly at play. It's crucial to differentiate these mysterious signals from the more familiar cacophony of the deep. The sonar pings from human vessels, the drone of shipping traffic, or the calls of known marine life like the great whales. While whales produce incredibly powerful low-frequency sounds that travel far, their calls are often the loudest biological sounds on Earth. The frequency range, duration, and spectrographic signatures of the truly enigmatic sounds typically do not align with any known biological creature. The search for answers continues, fueled by a relentless curiosity. Scientists analyze every nuance of these acoustic fingerprints, hoping to match them to a known phenomenon, or perhaps to something entirely new. Are there yet undiscovered geological processes capable of generating such vast soundscapes? Are there, against all current biological understanding, colossal, deep-dwelling organisms whose vocalizations are simply beyond our current comprehension? The ocean, in its vastness, holds countless secrets, and its deep sonic landscape is a profound reminder of how much remains to be explored, how much remains to be understood about the very planet beneath our feet. As these distant, mysterious echoes fade into the quiet, we carry with us the knowledge that the ocean is far from silent, far from fully known. It is a place of profound energy, constant change, and endless wonder. And in that wonder, let us turn towards our next enigma, exploring where human imagination often collides with the profound silence of the deep. Here, in the realm of eternal night, we ponder the fascinating, almost dreamlike concept of lost deep-sea civilizations. Here, we ponder the fascinating, almost dreamlike concept of lost deep-sea civilizations. It's a tale as old as the waves themselves, isn't it? The whispers of Atlantis, cities swallowed by the sea, forgotten kingdoms resting beneath the colossal blue blanket. Our human minds, ever yearning for discovery, find irresistible charm in the thought of ancient palaces, libraries, or bustling marketplaces preserved in the ocean's cold embrace. It's a compelling idea, painting pictures of merfolk architects or technologically advanced humans who somehow mastered the abyssal plains. But what does the ocean, in its vast, quiet wisdom, tell us about such dreams? Let's gently explore the scientific realities of the deep and see if our imaginations might find new, perhaps even more wondrous, forms of civilization there. The most immediate, undeniable truth of the deep ocean is its immense pressure. Imagine, if you will, the gentle weight of a single raindrop on your skin. Now, multiply that, not by 100, but by hundreds of thousands, pressing in from every direction. For every 10 meters you descend into the ocean, the pressure increases by the equivalent of one entire atmosphere. By the time you reach the abyssal plains, thousands of meters down, you are experiencing pressures that could crush a steel submarine like a tin can. At the very deepest point of the Mariana Trench, the Challenger Deep, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. It's like having nearly 100 jumbo jets piled on top of you all at once. For any structure, any dwelling built by beings resembling us to withstand such an unimaginable squeeze, it would require materials and engineering far beyond anything we've conceived, let alone found evidence of. Then there is the profound, unbroken darkness. Below about 1,000 meters, the sun's rays cannot penetrate. It is a world of perpetual midnight, illuminated only by the occasional flicker of bioluminescence from a passing creature, like tiny, living stars in an endless cosmic void. Our civilizations, historically, have relied on the sun for energy, for warmth, for the very rhythm of day and night that structures our lives. To build a thriving society in absolute darkness would require an entirely different sensory perception, a complete reimagining of daily existence. And what of warmth? Most of the deep ocean is startlingly cold, often just a few degrees above freezing, perhaps 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Imagine building a home, a city, in a place colder than the average freezer. Sustaining life, let alone a complex society, would demand incredible energy resources simply to ward off the chill, to create an environment where surface-dwelling life forms could even begin to exist. The scarcity of food is another silent guardian of the deep. Unlike the sunlit surface waters teeming with phytoplankton, the deep ocean floor is a vast desert. Food arrives primarily as marine snow, a delicate, continuous shower of detritus, dead organisms, and waste particles drifting down from above. It's a slow, sparse feast, demanding specialized adaptations, not the robust agriculture or complex food distribution systems we associate with civilizations. Large, diverse populations, the kind that build cities, simply couldn't sustain themselves on such a meager, unpredictable diet. Beyond these environmental hurdles, there's the restless geology of our planet. The ocean floor is not a static canvas, it's a dynamic, ever-changing landscape. Tectonic plates are constantly grinding, shifting, separating at mid-ocean ridges, and diving beneath continents at subduction zones. This relentless dance gives rise to volcanic eruptions, devastating earthquakes, and tsunamis, forces that could obliterate any fixed structure, burying it under lava flows or tearing it apart with seismic violence. Even if a city were built, how long could it survive these titanic geological events over the millennia that define ancient history? And if by some marvel a civilization did flourish and then perish, what would remain? The deep ocean floor is a realm of slow, continuous sedimentation. Fine particles, like a gentle, ceaseless snowfall, accumulate year after year, century after century. Any artifacts, any structures, would gradually be buried, entombed beneath layers of sediment, slowly dissolving or eroding under the ceaseless currents and the activity of deep-sea organisms that leave no stone unturned in their search for sustenance. Even the most robust materials degrade over geological timescales. Wood is devoured by specialized worms, metals corrode, and even stone eventually succumbs to the subtle, persistent forces of the deep. Despite the captivating allure of human-like cities beneath the waves, our extensive exploration of the deep ocean through remotely operated vehicles, submersibles, and sonar mapping has yielded no evidence of such grand constructions. What we have found are shipwrecks, yes, sometimes remarkably preserved, but these are mere recent visitors, not ancient inhabitants. We've encountered intriguing natural rock formations, like the Yonaguni Monument off Japan, which some believe to be man-made, but the scientific consensus leans towards natural geological processes. These are whispers in the wind, not booming pronouncements of a lost civilization. But this doesn't mean the deep ocean is devoid of wonders, or even of cities of a different kind. Perhaps we need to expand our definition of civilization. Down in the darkness, where the sun never shines, life has forged incredible societies, utterly alien to our own, yet thriving in ways that astonish us. Consider the hydrothermal vents, for instance. These are like volcanic chimneys on the seafloor, spewing superheated mineral-rich water from Earth's interior. Around these vents, entire ecosystems flourish. Dense aggregations of giant tube worms, blind shrimp, clams, and unique microbes. These communities are incredibly diverse and complex, built not on sunlight but on chemosynthesis, harnessing chemical energy from the vent fluids, much like our surface world harnesses solar energy. These are bustling cities of extremophiles, interdependent and vibrant, living on the very edge of possibility. They are true deep-sea civilizations in the most magnificent biological sense, proving that life can find a way to organize, to build, to thrive, even in the most improbable corners of our planet. Then there are the cold seeps, areas where methane and other hydrocarbons seep from the seafloor, creating another type of oasis for specialized life. Or the deep-sea coral reefs, built by tiny polyps over thousands of years, forming intricate, vast structures that provide homes for countless other creatures. These are not cities of stone and mortar, but living architecture, breathing ecosystems that are perhaps even more profound in their quiet persistence. Plow on. So, while the romantic notion of ancient human cities lying undiscovered in the abyssal depths remains a beautiful dream, the reality of the deep ocean offers something far more astonishing, a testament to life's incredible resilience and adaptability. It shows us that civilization isn't just about stone buildings and written histories, but about the intricate webs of life that sustain and support communities, even in the most extreme environments. As we leave the mystery of lost deep-sea civilizations behind, we carry with us a renewed sense of awe for the ocean's profound secrets. And with that gentle thought, let us explore another one of the ocean's captivating enigmas, a mystery perhaps even stranger than the ones we've just considered. Beyond the reach of the sun's warm light, a new kind of silence settles around us. It's a silence that whispers of secrets, of worlds hidden not just by the vastness of the water, but by their very nature, too small to see, yet immensely powerful. Tonight, we gently open the door to one of the most astonishing of these mysteries, the hidden microbial worlds that thrive in the deep ocean. Imagine a garden without sunlight, a forest without green leaves. For most of life on Earth, the sun is the ultimate architect, fueling the vibrant dance of photosynthesis. But in the crushing darkness of the deep, where sunlight is an ancient myth, life has found an entirely different pathway. Here, the energy doesn't fall from the sky. It rises from the earth itself, bubbling up from the ocean floor in a symphony of chemical reactions. This incredible process is called chemosynthesis. Instead of chlorophyll capturing photons, tiny, resilient organisms, the bacteria and archaea of the deep, capture chemical energy. Think of it like this. If photosynthesis is life powered by solar panels, chemosynthesis is life powered by miniature biological chemical reactors. They feast on compounds like hydrogen sulfide, methane, and various metal ions, all readily available in this volcanic, mineral-rich environment. They are the primary producers, the very foundation of an ecosystem that exists entirely independently of the sun. Without them, the larger, more visible creatures of the deep would have no source of sustenance. Our journey into these hidden worlds often begins at hydrothermal vents. Picture colossal chimneys, sometimes towering like ancient cathedrals, rising from the abyssal plains. These are places where Earth's tectonic plates pull apart, allowing seawater to seep into the crust, heat up to supercritical temperatures by magma, and then blast back out into the ocean. The exiting water is rich with dissolved minerals and chemicals, forming plumes that can be as dark as smoke, hence the name black smokers. But some are gentler, white smokers, shimmering with barium and calcium sulfate. Around these dramatic features, a truly alien cityscape blossoms. It's here, in the immediate vicinity of these vents, that microbial life forms breathtaking mats, vibrant tapestries of bacteria and archaea that coat the rocks and the bodies of vent animals. They are the unseen chefs preparing the feast. Giant tube worms, some reaching several meters in length, don't have mouths or digestive systems in the traditional sense. Instead, they host billions of these chemosynthetic bacteria within their bodies. It's a symbiotic marvel where the bacteria convert toxic chemicals into nourishment, and the worm provides a safe, oxygenated home. Clams, mussels, and shrimp also graze on these microbial mats, or house them internally, living testament to the power of tiny, unseen life to build entire ecosystems. But the deep ocean's microbial tapestry isn't limited to the fiery breath of hydrothermal vents. We also find another fascinating phenomenon: cold seeps. Unlike the volcanic intensity of vents, cold seeps are more like slow, persistent leaks. Here, methane gas and sulfide-rich fluids seep gradually from cracks in the seafloor, often at cooler temperatures. Imagine vast underwater landscapes where icy fires burn, not with flame, but with invisible chemical energy. Again, microbial mats, often white or orange, blanket these areas, drawing energy from the escaping gases. Here, too, unique communities thrive. Specialized mussels, clams, and even exotic species of deep-sea corals that filter feed on the rich microbial soup or host symbionts themselves. And then, we delve even deeper, beyond the water column and the seafloor, into the very bedrock of our planet. This is the sub-sea floor biosphere, a realm discovered only relatively recently, and one that continues to astound us. Imagine microbes living not just on the ocean floor, but within it, miles beneath the sediment, burrowed deep into the basaltic crust. Think of our planet having its own subterranean circulatory system, with networks of tiny veins and arteries filled with living organisms. Researchers use specialized drilling ships to extract core samples, revealing ancient microbes preserved in the rock, sometimes millions of years old, patiently waiting for the right conditions to metabolize and thrive. They exist in crushing pressure, extreme heat, and utter isolation, yet they persist, slowly cycling nutrients and gases, influencing global geochemical processes on timescales we can barely comprehend. These hidden microbial worlds represent an unimaginable abundance and diversity. Scientists estimate that the deep ocean's subsurface biosphere alone may contain more biomass than all the life on the Earth's surface. Think of it, billions upon billions of individual cells, each a tiny biological wonder, performing essential functions. They are the silent engines of the deep, recycling nutrients, breaking down organic matter, and forming the bedrock of food webs that extend to the largest leviathans of the abyss. They are also the ultimate extremophiles, organisms that thrive in conditions that would be instantly lethal to most life on Earth. They teach us about the remarkable adaptability of life, pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible. Their unique enzymes and biochemical pathways hold immense potential for biotechnology, offering insights into new medicines, industrial processes, and even ways to clean up pollution. And perhaps most profoundly, these hidden microbial worlds offer tantalizing clues in the search for life beyond Earth. If life can flourish in the dark, chemical-fueled depths of our own planet, beneath miles of ocean and rock, then similar environments on moons like Europa or Enceladus, with their subsurface oceans and hydrothermal activity, become far more promising candidates for extraterrestrial life. So, as we contemplate these invisible architects of the deep, let us marvel at their resilience, their ingenuity, and the sheer scale of their unseen empire. They are a gentle reminder that even in the most desolate-seeming places, life finds a way, often in forms we are only just beginning to imagine. As we leave these microscopic realms, our journey through the deep ocean's mysteries continues, leading us next to another wonder, one that moves silently through the perpetual night. Past the sunlit surface in the twilight zone lies a realm of profound stillness, yet one that pulses with an ancient, unseen rhythm. It is here, in the abyssal plains and the shadowy trenches, that another of the ocean's grand mysteries unfolds, the intricate dance of deep ocean currents, silent architects of our planet's climate. Picture, if you will, not just the waves you see crashing on a beach or the swift currents that guide a sailing ship across the surface. No, this is something far vaster, far slower, a liquid river within a river, moving with a ponderous grace that belies its immense power. Scientists call this global circulation the thermohaline circulation. But you might know it better by its evocative nickname, the Great Ocean Conveyor Belt. Wow. Imagine our entire planet breathing, and these deep currents are its slow, steady inhalations and exhalations, circulating through every ocean basin, connecting every corner of the world. It is a system driven not by the wind's swift touch, but by fundamental differences in the water itself, its temperature and its saltiness. Hence, thermo for heat and haline for salt. Let's journey to where this colossal conveyor belt begins its incredible journey. Far away, in the frigid, icy reaches of our polar regions, especially around the North Atlantic and the Antarctic, a remarkable transformation takes place. As the air itself bites with a frosty kiss and the sea breathes out a delicate mist, the surface waters grow extraordinarily cold. This intense cooling is the first ingredient. But there's another, equally crucial element at play, the formation of sea ice. When seawater freezes, it forms beautiful crystalline structures. But here's the clever part. The salt, unable to fit into the ice crystals, is expelled, rejected back into the remaining liquid water. This makes the water beneath the newly formed ice incredibly concentrated, incredibly salty. So, we now have water that is not only bone-chillingly cold, but also extraordinarily salty. And what happens when water is both cold and salty? It becomes incredibly dense, incredibly heavy. Think of it like a liquid stone, ready to tumble. This dense, heavy water, in a slow-motion ballet, begins to sink. It descends gracefully from the surface, plummeting thousands of meters into the abyssal depths, filling the ocean basins from the bottom up. This is where the far North Atlantic deep water, NADW, forms, a major component that flows southwards, and even denser, the Antarctic bottom water, AABW, which is the coldest, densest water mass on Earth, spreading out across the deepest parts of all ocean basins. Once this deep water has sunk, it begins its epic, unhurried journey. It flows like a hidden river, slowly, majestically, along the ocean floor, carving pathways across continents and beneath islands you can only dream of. This journey isn't measured in days or weeks, but in centuries, even millennia. A parcel of water that sinks in the North Atlantic might not resurface for 1,000 years, having traversed the Atlantic, rounded South Africa, flowed through the Indian Ocean, and finally made its way into the Pacific. So what does this slow, deep current mean for us, for our planet's climate? Its impact is immense, acting as a vital circulatory system for the entire Earth. Firstly, it's a colossal heat redistributor. Imagine it as a gentle, global radiator. As warm surface currents flow poleward, they release their heat into the atmosphere, tempering the climates of high-latitude regions, like bringing a cozy blanket to places that would otherwise be much colder. The deep currents then carry this cooled, dense water away, allowing more warm water to flow in. Without this continuous circulation, regions like Western Europe, for instance, would be far more frigid than they are today. But the conveyor belt does more than just move heat. It's also a vital lifeline for marine ecosystems. As the deep water slowly travels, it accumulates nutrients, the dissolved remnants of countless marine organisms and minerals that have settled from the surface over vast stretches of time. Eventually, in certain areas of the world, this deep, nutrient-rich water is gently coaxed upwards in a process called upwelling. These upwelling zones are bursts of life, fueling phytoplankton blooms, which in turn support vast fisheries and some of the most biodiverse regions of our oceans, from tiny krill to colossal whales. And there's another critical role: carbon. Our oceans are enormous carbon sinks, absorbing a significant portion of the carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere. The deep ocean currents play a crucial part in transporting this dissolved carbon from the surface down into the abyss, sequestering it away for hundreds, even thousands of years. This helps regulate the amount of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, acting as a natural buffer against rapid climate change. Yet, this powerful ancient system is not immune to change. As our planet warms, and as ice sheets and glaciers melt at an accelerated pace, fresh water is increasingly pouring into the polar oceans. This influx of fresh water reduces the salinity of the surface waters, and when the water is less salty, even if it's still cold, it becomes less dense. This reduced density makes it harder for the water to sink, potentially weakening or even slowing down the entire Great Ocean conveyor belt. It's like a whisper of a shift in a cosmic engine, a subtle adjustment in the planet's profound breathing. Scientists are carefully watching these changes. A significant slowdown or disruption of the thermohaline circulation could have far-reaching consequences, altering regional weather patterns, impacting the distribution of marine life, and potentially reducing the ocean's capacity to absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide, leading to further warming. It reminds us that even the deepest, most stable-seeming parts of our world are intricately connected to everything else. The deep ocean currents, then, are not just mysterious movements of water. They are the planet's hidden pulse, a slow, powerful force that shapes our climate, nourishes life, and influences the very air we breathe. Their secrets are still being unraveled, their future carefully observed. And as we consider their vast, patient journey, we are reminded of just how interconnected all life on Earth truly is. A profound thought indeed, as we prepare to explore the next marvel of this watery world. Let us now turn our attention to a mystery that unfolds not just on the surface of the ocean, but far, far beneath it, within the very heart of the Earth. Imagine for a moment not the carbon we see and feel around us every day, the carbon in the trees, in the air we breathe, or in the ocean's gentle waves, but a hidden, ancient kind of carbon. This is the realm of the deep carbon cycle, a colossal slow-motion ballet that plays out over millions of years, largely unseen, yet profoundly shaping the world we know. Picture our Earth as a grand living entity. It breathes, it shifts, it holds secrets deep within its rocky layers. And carbon, this fundamental building block of life, is everywhere. A restless traveler on an eternal journey. We often speak of the surface carbon cycle, the rapid exchange between the atmosphere, oceans, and living things, a cycle that operates on scales of years, decades, or centuries. But beneath this bustling surface activity lies a realm of carbon so vast, so profound, it makes the surface cycle seem like a mere whisper in comparison. This is the deep carbon reservoir, a silent guardian of our planet's long-term climate, holding reserves of carbon hundreds of times larger than all the carbon above ground combined. Where does this ancient carbon reside? Much of it is tucked away like precious gems within the Earth's mantle, a thick, hot layer of semi-solid rock that lies between the crust and the core. Here, carbon isn't just floating freely, it's locked within minerals, transformed by immense pressure and heat into exotic compounds, or even dissolved in pockets of molten rock, like sugar dissolving in a colossal subterranean brew. It's also found in the deep crust, in layers of ancient limestone formed from countless marine creatures, now buried under miles of rock, or in black shales, rich with the compressed remains of forgotten forests and plankton. Now, how does this carbon move? What are the pathways of this deep, slow dance? It begins its journey in the most dramatic of ways, often at the edges of our planet's great tectonic plates. Imagine the Earth's surface, not as a solid, unbroken sphere, but as a magnificent jigsaw puzzle with pieces slowly, inexorably grinding against each other. When an oceanic plate laden with sediments rich in carbon, the shells of tiny creatures, the remnants of ancient life, and carbonates precipitated from seawater, dives beneath another plate in a process we call subduction. It carries this carbon deep into the Earth's interior. It's like a colossal conveyor belt, slowly swallowing vast amounts of carbon-rich material, pulling it down, down, down into the fiery depths. As these carbon-laden rocks descend, they undergo incredible transformations. The temperatures soar, the pressures become unimaginable, capable of crushing mountains into dust. Water and carbon dioxide are squeezed out of the minerals, forming new compounds, sometimes even diamond, the purest form of carbon, deep within the mantle. Some of this carbon might remain locked away for hundreds of millions of years, an eternal prisoner of the deep. But not all. Eventually, some of this deeply buried carbon finds its way back towards the surface, a testament to Earth's ceaseless internal churn. The most visible way for deep carbon to return is through volcanoes. Picture the majestic, sometimes fearsome mountains of fire that grace our planet. These are Earth's slow, deliberate exhales, breathing ancient carbon back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. It's not a sudden burst, but a continuous, gentle release over geological timescales. The carbon expelled by volcanoes today might have been subducted hundreds of millions of years ago, a silent messenger from a forgotten world. This volcanic outgassing is a crucial part of Earth's long-term carbon balance, a natural thermostat that helps regulate our planet's climate over eons. But the deep carbon cycle isn't just about rocks and fire. The deep ocean itself plays a vital, active role. Carbon constantly cycles between the deep ocean waters and the sediments on the sea floor. Marine organisms, from microscopic plankton to larger creatures, build their shells and skeletons from calcium carbonate, which, upon their death, drifts down to the abyss, forming vast blankets of calcareous ooze. Over time, these layers compact and solidify into limestone, effectively sequestering carbon for geological timescales. This is the ocean's slow, steady method of burying carbon, a massive natural graveyard for atmospheric carbon. Yet, even in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean, carbon is on the move. Imagine cracks in the seafloor, where superheated water bursts forth, creating strange and beautiful ecosystems around hydrothermal vents. Here, dissolved carbon, sometimes originating from the mantle, sometimes from reactions with the oceanic crust, is released into the deep ocean, feeding unique chemosynthetic life forms that thrive without sunlight. These vents are like tiny, localized volcanoes on the sea floor, exchanging carbon, heat, and minerals between the Earth's interior and the ocean's depths, adding another layer of complexity to the carbon puzzle. So, why is this intricate dance called a puzzle? Because despite its immense importance, much of the deep carbon cycle remains shrouded in mystery. We know it's happening, we understand the broad strokes, but the precise details are incredibly challenging to decipher. How much carbon is truly stored in the mantle? How quickly does it move between reservoirs? What are the exact chemical pathways it takes under extreme pressure and temperature? These are not easy questions to answer when the subjects of your study are miles beneath the Earth's surface or at the bottom of the deepest oceans. Scientists use ingenious methods to peek into this hidden world. They analyze the seismic waves generated by earthquakes, using them like a planetary ultrasound to map the Earth's interior and detect anomalies that might indicate carbon reservoirs. They study volcanic rocks, looking for chemical signatures that reveal the origin and journey of carbon-bearing melts. They conduct high-pressure, high-temperature experiments in laboratories, recreating the conditions found deep within the Earth to understand how carbon behaves. And they drill into the seafloor, extracting core samples that provide a historical record of carbon sequestration over millions of years. The deep carbon cycle is not just a scientific curiosity. It's a profound regulator of our planet's climate over geological timescales. While the surface carbon cycle influences our weather and short-term climate patterns, the deep carbon cycle acts as Earth's ultimate, long-term thermostat. Without its slow, deliberate movements, our planet might have become a frozen wasteland or a scorching inferno. It's a testament to the Earth's incredible self-regulating capabilities, a silent, ancient rhythm that has kept our world habitable for billions of years. Understanding this deep, slow dance of carbon is critical, especially as we grapple with changes to the more rapid surface cycle. It reminds us that our planet is a complex, interconnected system, with processes occurring on scales that dwarf our everyday experience. It's a reminder of the Earth's immense power and its subtle, enduring wisdom. And with that thought, as the deep carbon continues its slow, majestic journey far beneath us, let us gently shift our gaze to another marvel of the deep, to places where Earth's inner fire meets the icy ocean, where life has adapted in the most extraordinary ways. Let us journey now into the inky blackness, to a realm that once seemed utterly impossible for life to exist. Imagine, for a moment, a place where the sun's gentle rays never pierce, where the weight of the ocean above is crushing, and the cold, vast currents hold a profound silence. This, dear listener, is the deep sea floor, a place we once believed to be a barren, desolate plain. But oh, how the ocean loves to surprise us, to unfurl its hidden marvels when we least expect them. In the late 1970s, a team of pioneering scientists exploring the Galapagos Rift in a small submersible stumbled upon a site that rewrote our understanding of life itself. They found not a wasteland, but bustling, vibrant communities clustered around mysterious chimneys rising from the seabed. These were the hydrothermal vents, spewing forth not smoke, but superheated, mineral-rich water from the Earth's very core. Picture these vents like ancient, silent geysers erupting deep beneath the waves, some gently shimmering, others billowing dark metallic plumes often called black smokers. These are not just geological wonders. They are the heartbeats of an entirely unique and utterly extreme ecosystem. Here, life thrives under conditions that would instantly annihilate almost every other creature on our planet. Consider the challenges. Immense pressure, sometimes exceeding 400 atmospheres, enough to flatten a submarine if not specially designed. Water temperatures fluctuate wildly from near freezing abyssal waters just centimeters away from the vent to scorching fluids that can reach over 400 degrees Celsius. Water that would normally boil into steam on the surface, but remains liquid due to the crushing pressure. And then there's the chemical environment, a cocktail of dissolved minerals, heavy metals, and most notably, high concentrations of hydrogen sulfide, a gas that is profoundly toxic to most life forms on Earth. Yet, within these infernal conditions, life doesn't just cling on, it flourishes in spectacular abundance. This is because life here has discovered an entirely different source of energy. Up here, under the sun, We depend on photosynthesis, the miracle by which plants convert sunlight into sustenance. But in the eternal night of the deep, a different kind of alchemy takes place. Chemosynthesis. At the very base of this food web are tiny, invisible microbes, bacteria and archaea, that have mastered the art of extracting energy from the very chemicals that poison other life. Instead of sunlight, they use hydrogen sulfide, methane, and other reduced inorganic compounds. They are the invisible chefs of the deep, transforming these raw, toxic ingredients into organic matter, effectively creating food in a world without light. They are the primary producers, the silent architects of these vibrant deep-sea oases. And from this foundation, a breathtaking array of unique animals has evolved, each with astounding adaptations. Take, for instance, the magnificent giant tube worms, Riftia pachyptila. Imagine crimson-plumed pillars, sometimes reaching over 2 meters in height, swaying gently in the currents. These creatures are a marvel of adaptation. They have no mouth, no gut, no digestive system. How do they eat? They wear their food inside them. Within a specialized organ called the trophosome, nestled deep within their soft bodies, live billions of those chemosynthetic bacteria. The tube worm acts as a living shelter, providing the bacteria with a steady supply of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and, crucially, hydrogen sulfide. In return, the bacteria process these chemicals, generating organic compounds, sugars, and other nutrients directly for their host. The worm's brilliant red plume, which it extends into the vent fluids, is rich in a specialized hemoglobin that can bind both oxygen and sulfide simultaneously and safely transport them to the bacteria, protecting the worm's own cells from the toxic sulfide. It's a perfect, intricate partnership, a living, breathing testament to symbiosis. But the tube worms are not alone. Clustered around the vents, often clinging to their rocky sides, are massive colonies of mussels and giant clams. These too have embraced symbiosis, hosting chemosynthetic bacteria within their gills. The bacteria nourish the clams and mussels, allowing them to grow to sizes unheard of for their shallow water cousins, sometimes reaching lengths of over a foot. They filter the vent water, not for plankton, but for the dissolved chemicals that feed their internal partners. Then there's the remarkable Pompeii worm, Alvinella pompeiana, often hailed as the most heat-tolerant animal on Earth. These segmented worms live in small, parchment-like tubes attached to the sides of black smoker chimneys, where they are exposed to extraordinary temperature gradients, from water temperatures near freezing at one end of their bodies to over 80 degrees Celsius at the other, temperatures hot enough to cook most proteins. Their secret? They wear a thick, furry coat, a fleece of bacteria on their backs. This bacterial layer acts as a kind of living insulation and may even help detoxify the surrounding water or provide additional food. They are literally living on the edge of thermal tolerance, a true marvel of biological resilience. Other denizens of these extreme habitats include blind white crabs, often seen scurrying across the vent fields, feasting on bacterial mats or scavenging. There are also vent shrimp, many of them eyeless, but equipped with highly sensitive chemoreceptors and even specialized light-sensing organs on their backs that can detect the faint infrared glow emitted by the superheated vent fluids. Each creature, from the tiniest microbe to the largest clam, has developed astonishing physiological adaptations. Specialized enzymes that function perfectly under crushing pressure and high heat, unique proteins to bind and neutralize toxins, and intricate cellular machinery designed to thrive in what we once considered an utterly uninhabitable realm. The discovery of these extreme vent ecosystems revolutionized biology, demonstrating that life is far more adaptable and resilient than we ever imagined. It opened our minds to the possibility of life existing in similarly extreme environments on other planets and moons, like the icy ocean-filled moons of Jupiter and Saturn. These deep-sea oases remind us that even in the darkest, most challenging corners of our own world, life finds a way to blossom, creating gardens of the impossible, whispering its silent secrets through the hydrothermal currents. As these wondrous images settle in your mind, let us gently drift from these fiery depths and prepare to explore another of the ocean's grandest spectacles, a mystery of migration that spans the entire globe. Our thoughts now turn to the serene, untouched vastness beneath the waves. Or is it truly untouched? But even in these most remote and seemingly pristine realms, the whispers of human activity can be heard, sometimes echoing for centuries. Tonight, let's ponder a quiet yet profound question. What truly becomes of the fragments of our world that find their way into the deep sea? What is the ultimate fate of deep sea pollution? Imagine, if you will, the ocean as an immense, swirling tapestry. Near the surface, the sun dances and currents hum with life. But below, in the twilight and then the absolute dark, a different story unfolds. Much of the pollution we generate on land or release at the surface does not simply vanish. It embarks on an incredible, often tragic journey. Plastics, once vibrant bottles or packaging, begin to fragment under the sun's relentless gaze and the ocean's gentle churn. They break into smaller and smaller pieces, tiny confetti known as microplastics, and even tinier nanoplastics, too small to see with the naked eye. These minuscule particles, sometimes carrying a coat of algae or minerals, lose their buoyancy and begin their slow, deliberate descent, like silent snowflakes falling through the vast, dark water column. But it's not just plastic. Our world has also released a silent armada of chemical pollutants, the lingering ghosts of industrial practices past, like persistent organic pollutants, POPs, such as PCBs and DDTs, or heavy metals like mercury and lead. These invisible contaminants often hitch a ride. They cling to the surface of sinking organic matter, or to the very microplastic particles we just described, forming a toxic cargo that accompanies them on their journey into the abyss. They settle with the sediment, a fine rain of particles constantly falling from above, gradually accumulating on the deep sea floor, layer upon layer, for eons. Once these pollutants reach the deep sea, their story takes on a new, incredibly slow dimension. The conditions here are utterly unique. Crushing pressure that would flatten a human, temperatures barely above freezing, and an absence of light that renders photosynthesis impossible. Oxygen can be scarce in some deep basins, and crucial for the fate of pollutants, The microbial communities, those tiny, tireless chemists of the ocean, work at an astonishingly glacial pace. Unlike their surface cousins, deep-sea microbes have vastly reduced metabolic rates, meaning the breakdown of complex molecules, whether natural or man-made, can take hundreds or even thousands of times longer. This means a plastic bottle that might degrade over decades on land or centuries at the surface could persist for millennia in the deep ocean, its fragments becoming a permanent feature of the abyssal landscape. Consider the deep ocean trenches, the deepest scars on our planet's face, plunging miles down into the Earth's crust. These aren't just geological wonders, they act as ultimate collection points, veritable canyons where gravity pulls debris and sediment downwards, creating vast, silent archives of everything that eventually settles. Microplastics, entangled with organic detritus, accumulate here in staggering quantities, forming new synthetic layers within the ancient mud. Similar phenomena occur on the immense flat abyssal plains, where contaminants are slowly buried under successive layers of sediment, essentially becoming geological features themselves, awaiting rediscovery in some unimaginably distant future. But buried doesn't always mean gone or harmless. These buried pollutants can still exert a silent influence. Some deep-sea organisms, from tiny seafloor worms to majestic deep-sea fish, inadvertently ingest microplastics, mistaking them for food. The chemicals clinging to these particles, or those dissolved in the frigid water, then enter their bodies. This is where the concept of bioaccumulation becomes critical. These substances build up in an individual organism over its lifetime, and as larger predators consume smaller contaminated prey, the concentration of these toxins can escalate up the food chain, a process known as biomagnification. Imagine a deep-sea anglerfish, a creature of the profound darkness, unknowingly carrying a toxic burden passed down through its diet, a silent testament to human activity far, far away and long, long ago. Nevan oil, once released into the deep, undergoes a transformation. While lighter fractions may evaporate or disperse, heavier components can sink, forming sticky tar balls or settling onto the seafloor, embedding themselves in sediments and smothering delicate deep-sea corals and sponges. Here, specialized oil-degrading microbes do exist, but their work is painstaking and incredibly slow, a testament to the sheer scale of the challenge in this cold, dark realm. It's a cleanup effort that stretches across generations, a testament to the ocean's immense, yet finite capacity to process our wastes. The ultimate fate of much deep-sea pollution, then, is a slow, enduring integration into the deep-sea ecosystem itself. It becomes part of the sediment, part of the food web, a persistent reminder of our footprint on Earth, extending even to its most remote corners. This deep-sea archive holds not just the stories of geological time, but now, increasingly, the story of human impact, written in plastics and persistent chemicals. It reminds us that our actions, however distant in space or time, ripple through the entire interconnected web of life on our planet. As the deep ocean silently collects these fragments, it continues to hold countless other secrets, mysteries still unfolding before us. Tomorrow night, perhaps we can delve into another of these enigmas, one that speaks not of human influence, but of nature's own incredible forces at play. And so, my dear one, As the world outside softens into twilight, and the stars begin their silent, ancient watch, we bring our gentle journey through the ocean's profound depths to a close. We have not plunged into those waters with bustling ships or noisy submersibles tonight, but rather with the quiet vessel of our own curiosity, guided by the soft lamplight of imagination. Remember how we drifted, not with the rush of currents, but with the slow, deliberate pace of thought across those vast, unseen plains? We contemplated the silent wonders hidden beneath unimaginable pressures, where the very concept of up and down takes on a different meaning. We didn't seek to solve the mysteries, not tonight, but simply to sit with them, to let their quiet grandeur wash over us like the gentle lapping of waves against a distant shore. We felt, didn't we, the immensity of spaces rarely touched by sunlight, where darkness reigns supreme, yet life, tenacious, ingenious life, finds a way. We marveled at the whispers of creatures that glowed like scattered stardust, their forms and habits defying the familiar, reminding us that existence is far more diverse and miraculous than our surface world often lets on. Each one a tiny, vibrant spark against an infinite backdrop, a testament to evolution's boundless creativity. Our thoughts also touched upon the very architecture of our blue planet, the slow, majestic forces that sculpt mountains and valleys not of air, but of water and rock in utter silence. We considered the geological enigmas, the deep scars and hidden veins that tell tales of Earth's powerful, slow breath, movements so grand they humble our brief lives, yet hold us in their ancient embrace. There, where the very crust of the earth whispers its secrets, we found another layer of wonder, of profound, unhurried change. And what of those elusive phenomena? The strange currents, the unexplained sounds, the fleeting glimpses of the truly unknown. We allowed our minds to ponder these transient moments, these scientific riddles that linger at the edges of our understanding, not as frustrations, but as invitations to humility, to accept that the universe holds surprises, and that often the most beautiful truth is simply that we do not yet know, and that is perfectly all right. This gentle exploration wasn't about finding answers that fit neatly into boxes. It was about opening our minds to the sheer possibility of it all, to feel the comfort in the vastness, the peace in the unknown. Each mystery we softly encountered wasn't a problem to be solved, but a quiet, shimmering invitation to wonder, a little window into the boundless imagination of the universe itself. We didn't need to grasp every detail. It was enough to simply let the feeling of deep-sea wonder fill our hearts. Think of the resilient spirits of those deep-sea dwellers, adapting to challenges we can barely conceive. Their silent struggle and success are a quiet reassurance, aren't they? A testament to life's enduring strength, its ability to bloom in the most unexpected corners, reminding us that there is a deep, inherent resilience within all things, including ourselves. We felt that deep, quiet courage, an echo from the abyssal plains, right into our own calm hearts. As we prepare to drift into slumber, let this feeling of profound mystery linger, not as a question that keeps you awake, but as a soft, comforting blanket of wonder. The ocean, in its deepest parts, is a place of profound calm, a realm where time seems to slow, where the hurried pace of the surface world fades away, into an eternal, gentle hush. And in that hush, there is a quiet reassurance that the world is infinitely more vast, more intricate, and more beautiful than we can ever fully comprehend. Tonight, let those deep ocean mysteries simply become part of your peaceful stillness. They are not waiting to be solved by you right now, but waiting to inspire quiet dreams. Imagine those glowing creatures continuing their slow balletic dance in the dark, the silent mountains shifting, the currents weaving their ancient patterns. All of it, a serene, continuous symphony, playing on even as you rest. Close your eyes now and feel the gentle drift. Let the calmness of the deep ocean, its endless, dark embrace, soothe you. The journey into the unknown continues, not with effort, but with the quiet breath of your sleep. May your dreams be as vast and as wondrous as the ocean itself, full of serene mystery and boundless peace. Good night, my dear one. Good night.